The final stop on our tour of Illustrator's transformation tools brings us to the reflection and shear tools. And so first things first, let's worry about the reflection. I'm going to select this piece of artwork on screen, and I'm going to come over here and click and hold on the rotate tool and select reflect. And with the reflect tool selected, you'll notice you get a little reference point here in the middle. That controls where the object is actually being reflected to. So for instance, I could change the reflection point by just clicking here, and then once I click to move the object, you notice that it flips, and then it creates a reflection, just like that. If you want to create a copy of the object as you're reflecting it, hold down the Alt key on the PC, the Option key on the Mac, and then when you release your mouse, you get a copy, and then you can release the Alt or Option key. So again, that reference point plays a key role in where the object actually gets reflected. Now, in addition to using the tool, you can also just use a right-click command. So for instance, I could take this, right-click, and I could choose Transform and select Reflect. I could then choose horizontal or vertical. I'm going to turn on my preview so I actually see it. The issue that I have with this is the fact that I can't change the reference point. If I were to hit OK, it just reflects this current object. If I hit copy, it creates a copy of that object, which I can then switch to my selection tool and then nudge it over using my arrow keys. And you can see that it is a completely reflected copy of that. Now, while this might be the easier way, just the right-click and go method, it's actually not the best way in my opinion because you don't get full control over how the object is reflected. If you create a copy that's 50 pixels across or 100 pixels across, I mean, it just doesn't make sense for me to use that command. That's why I almost always use the reflect tool. And again, you can get that by selecting it here or by pressing the letter O on your keyboard. Once you have that, bring it out into your document. And if you want to temporarily get the selection tool so you can click and make a selection of something, hold down the Command or Control key on your keyboard, make a selection, release that key, and then you can continue to reflect. So let's try this one more time. Click the reference point, then just click and drag to reflect it. Option or Alt key creates a duplicate. Now undo that. The last part of this is going to be how to shear something, and you can reach that tool by going into the shear tools right here. And this is sort of like skewing it in one direction or the other. Click and drag in a direction that you want to take it. So something like that, for instance. It takes a little while to get used to this. I'll Command or Control Z to undo that and bring it out here in the middle. This one is a little bit what I call wonky. As you start to click and drag, it kind of snaps to different points and creates some really weird effects that it's hard to keep control of. You can try to hold down the Shift key and it will try to constrain that. If you wanted to, you could also hold down the Option or Alt key while you're doing this, and it would create a copy that you could then move over and you could compare the two to see. Skewing it is just another way of transforming an object. In addition to doing it manually, you can also do it as an effect. You can go to the Effect menu, and you can go down here, and you can choose Distort and Transform, and you can choose something like Free Distort, and the Free Distort tool will actually allow you to skew it that way as well. The beauty part about this is it's a non-destructive edit to the original file, so anytime you need to undo that, you can just go in the Appearance panel and either remove it or change the parameters that you set forward. So I'll hit Cancel here. That wraps up our look at the transformation tools. I know that's a lot of stuff to cover, and I know that there are a lot of different tweaks and things that you're going to learn along the way as you play with these things, and that's exactly what I encourage you to do. Take some time, open up this file, practice with it using all of the different tools we've talked about in this chapter, and I think you'll be really amazed at some of the creative things that you can do just using these basic transformation tools.